Now, these problems are kindergarten level. They will be very easy, so I will be spending some time discussing the why and the how instead of, best practices. So put two acorns in the box. On Khan Academy, I can just pick it up and drag it. 1, 2, and hopefully, assuming I set everything up correctly, you should have heard a nice sound that showed that we got that correct. I would really like it if chat would go ahead and let me know that you heard that sound. So, how do we teach counting to kids? Okay, we've got 5 elephants here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repetition is good. Things like Sesame Street are great. Counting with kids, making things about numbers a lot. Don't quiz them. This is not, you don't have to be super strict about it. But how do you get students counting? And I'm going to start with one of my sort of cheat codes for how to learn early math and how to teach early math, and that's board games. All right? And specifically at this level, at this very young level, where all they need to be interested in is counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to recommend one of the worst games of all time, but also one of the best mathematical aids of all time, Chutes and Ladders, or Snakes and Ladders. The way Chutes and Ladders works, it's really just you roll the dice, you count the pips on the dice, and then you count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how far you go. That's counting. That's exactly what we are doing. And yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's true that Chutes and Ladders is not really a game so much as it is it's a random number generator, right? A random number generator could play Chutes and Ladders, and yes, your 4-year-old will beat the hell out of you at Chutes and Ladders, and yes, your 4-year-old will not understand that it is not a game with any sense of agency, and yes, your 4-year-old will shove it in your face, but that confidence and that desire to play more will mean more chances for them to learn how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And finally, with any board game, really, the moment you graduate from counting to addition, you can always take the dice, and instead of having the dice with pips, you can have the dice with actual numbers printed on. That way, if they get a 6 and a 4, they have to really quick in their head do that 6 plus 4 in order to figure out how many spaces to advance. It's another sort of high-level move. Just switch out the dice from pips to numbers, and now, instead of counting, they're adding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Okay. Count in order. This is going to be another easy one. And again, you don't have to sit your kids down in front of a computer to do this stuff. All right? There are so many ways that you can just sprinkle all of this into everyday life instead of making it about learning. Make math about the world around you. Don't make math just a thing that you have to sit down and get through. That's sort of the biggest thing that I want to focus on. Anyway, type the missing number in the box. 1, 2, 3. Pretty easy. Now, I really like this problem, but this is exactly the kind of problem that you would find on Facebook as a result, or as an example of a ridiculous or stupid kind of problem, right? How do we count the squirrels? Well, the top one says, and in fact, I can actually draw on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's correct. And I'm still kind of getting used to this. There we go. So that one's correct, right? But let's look at the other one, because again, one of our big pillars of Common Core is to look at the reasoning of others and see where they made their mistake. And in this case, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then where it gets messy is here. It misses 6, then 7, 8, and it misses 9. Nice. So it misses the 6 and the 9, and that is the mistake that's made. It's not always enough to be able to get the right answer. A lot of the time you have to be able to show somebody how you got your answer, and maybe if someone got an answer that's different than yours, it's important to be able to look at their work. Now in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Don't be afraid to use your fingers, and for God's sake, please do not shame anybody who is counting on their fingers, especially little kids, but I count on my fingers all the time. That's literally what they're for. The reason that we have a decimal system is mostly because we have 10 fingers. So, that's the way to count the animals. Count the mice. 1, 2, that would be 3, 4, that would be 5, 6. How do we count the whales? Well, 1, 2, 3 is correct. The person who answered A is probably very, very young and still hasn't figured out the order of the numbers yet. And that's important to know. If they say 2, 4, 5, that's actually a good sign. It means that they know the names of some of the numbers. They're just still having a bit of a difficult time putting them in order. And to be absolutely fair, there are folks who will always have a hard time getting those numbers put in order, just like there will always be people that have a hard time getting letters and syllables put in the right order. Dyscalculia and dyslexia overlap, and they are both real things. So by focusing on these kinds of problems early on, I like giving folks who have those kinds of conditions a chance to see what it looks like from the outside, especially early on. Type in the missing numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then how do we count the bananas? Let's see, which one's wrong? 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, 8, 9, 7. So a little bit out of order on A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, B looks correct to me. Count the sharks. I hate sharks. It's not a thing against them. I'm just a terrified little weenie boy of sharks. Excellent. That's 2 down. Up next, find one more or one less than a number. Again, I really like these problems, and you'll see why in a moment. The zoo had the monkeys shown below. The zoo got one more monkey. Now there are how many monkeys at the zoo? And as you can see, we have 3 possible answers here: 15, 8, or 2. You'll find that I will often pause at the beginning of a new topic in an attempt to get folks to sort of think it over on their own. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monkeys right there. If the zoo got one more, that would be 8. That is B. And again, thinking about one more and one less is really important, because that's really the essence of counting up and counting down, right? If I'm counting up something, I'm really just adding 1 over and over and over again: 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If I'm subtracting, I'm just counting down: 17, 15, 15, or 15, 14, 13, 12. I'm a math teacher. You can trust me. And one other thing that I want to mention now that I've said that was just a silly slip of the tongue, but there will be times, 100% guaranteed be times on this stream when I will make mistakes. Sometimes they will be silly mistakes. Sometimes they will cause me to have to repeat a topic, and that's okay. We're going to be talking a lot about the growth mindset and how it's more important to learn than it is to be right all the time. Anyway, Bella saw 16 acorns. 1 acorn rolled away. 16 minus 1 is 15. The aquarium has 17 seals. Or 14 seals. They got one more seal. How many seals does it have now? So 14 plus 1 is 15. Let's see, which of these is 15? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. I think this one's 15. There were 9 elephants. 1 elephant ran away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just making sure. Anyway, there were 9 elephants. 1 ran away. There are 8. And had the apples shown below. What are these organized into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now, I'm using shortcuts to count these quickly, because I'm a grown-up and I've done these before. But I can't expect a 4 or 5 year old to be able to count by sevens and then know to add these extra five. That comes later. So I should really be counting these one by one. But anyway, so I got 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Her sister ate 1, so there should be 18. The zoo had 1 penguin. Oh, that's so sad. The zoo got 1 more penguin. Okay, that's less sad. There are now 2 penguins at the zoo. And hopefully they like each other. And they should get more penguins, because you can't... Penguins are social. You gotta have more. Ling grilled 2 hot dogs. She grilled 1 more hot dog. How many hot dogs did Ling grill? Well, let's see. 2 and 1, that's 3. Boom. Another one down. So we have now finished, essentially, the small number counting portion of this. And really, small number counting is something that there is no early limit on. You can start teaching kids the numbers as soon as they can begin to form words. And that's, obviously you don't want to go all full, authoritarian teacher on them and tell them they're going to take a quiz when they're an infant. But getting your kids used to seeing the numbers in reality around us, very, very important, because once you begin to see how those numbers interact, you'll find that they interact that way both in the real world and in sort of the theoretical land of math.